Most men think intimacy begins with effort, more technique, more confidence, more pressure to do everything right. But that belief quietly works against you, because the moments that actually deepen attraction don't come from trying harder. They come from touching with awareness. Have you ever kissed someone and felt the entire dynamic shift, slower, calmer, more connected, without anything escalating? Or noticed how some kisses feel unforgettable while others fade instantly, even when attraction is strong? That's not chemistry luck, it's nervous system response. Kissing isn't just a warm-up to something else, it's a form of communication, and certain spots speak directly to safety, anticipation, and emotional closeness in ways most men were never taught to recognize. In this video, you're going to learn 3 specific kissing spots that do far more than create physical arousal. They help someone feel safe, seen, and emotionally open. And that's where real desire actually grows. This matters right now because many men feel pressure to escalate quickly, even when something inside them knows slowing down would feel better. When you understand how the brain and body respond to subtle, intentional touch, intimacy becomes calmer and more confident instead of stressful or performative. There are no tricks here, no scripts to memorize, and no exaggerated promises. Just psychology-grounded insight that helps you stay present in the moment and makes your presence feel grounded, masculine, and quietly unforgettable. Kissing is often treated as a physical act, but psychologically, it functions as a form of nervous system communication. Before desire can deepen, the brain has to answer one core question: am I safe here? Research in affective neuroscience and attachment psychology shows that the body cannot fully relax into arousal unless it feels a sense of safety, attunement, and emotional presence. This is why intensity alone rarely creates lasting connection. When 2 people kiss, their nervous systems are constantly exchanging information through breath, pace, pressure, and rhythm. Studies referenced in the Journal of Sexual Medicine have shown that affectionate touch can reduce cortisol, the stress hormone, while increasing oxytocin, which supports bonding and trust. Kissing becomes powerful not because of where it leads, but because of what it signals in the moment. Slow, intentional kissing tells the brain that there is no urgency and no threat, allowing the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and connect state, to activate. When that system is engaged, sensitivity increases and emotional openness follows naturally. This is the foundation most men were never taught. They were taught performance, escalation, and outcome. But the body responds to presence, not pressure. When kissing is understood as a way to regulate and align nervous systems, intimacy stops feeling like something you have to manage and starts feeling like something you participate in together. In real relationships, this difference shows up immediately. You can feel when a kiss is rushed versus when it's grounded. Most men don't rush because they're careless. They rush because they're trying to be effective. They're focused on whether they're doing enough, moving things forward, or reading the moment correctly. But that internal pressure leaks into their touch. In my experience working with men, the biggest shift happens when they stop trying to create desire and instead focus on staying present inside their own body. That means noticing your breathing, relaxing your jaw and shoulders, and allowing the kiss to unfold without a timeline. When you do this, the other person feels it. The kiss feels steadier, warmer, and more intentional. It becomes less about what comes next and more about what's happening now. This is where attraction deepens, not through intensity, but through consistency and calm. A grounded kiss communicates confidence without words. It says you're not anxious, you're not in a hurry, and you're comfortable being right here. That comfort invites the other person to relax into the moment with you. So the next time you kiss someone, notice what your body is doing. Are you trying to get somewhere, or are you actually present? What do you think would change if you allowed the moment to slow down just a little? The side of the neck is one of the most neurologically sensitive areas of the body, and its power has far less to do with sexuality than most people assume. This region is closely connected to the vagus nerve, which plays a major role in regulating emotional safety, relaxation, and arousal. When this area is touched slowly and intentionally, the nervous system often interprets it as calming rather than stimulating in an aggressive way. Attachment research shows that touch near the neck and collarbone can signal protection and closeness at the same time, which is a rare and powerful combination. Studies discussed in the Journal of Sexual Medicine suggest that gentle, affectionate contact in sensitive areas increases oxytocin release, reinforcing trust and emotional bonding. What matters most here is not pressure or frequency, but pacing. Slow contact allows the parasympathetic nervous system to activate, which increases sensitivity throughout the body. When the body feels safe, it becomes more responsive. This is why the neck can quietly deepen desire without pushing anything forward. It creates a sense of being held rather than pursued. From a psychological standpoint, this type of touch communicates presence and containment, not urgency. And that message is often what allows attraction to grow organically. When men understand this, they stop treating the neck as a quick stop on the way to something else and begin using it as a way to anchor the entire moment in calm connection. In real-life moments, most men move past the neck too quickly. They kiss it briefly, apply more pressure than needed, and then escalate because they assume that's what they're supposed to do. But when you slow this down, the experience changes completely. In my experience, the most effective way to use this spot is to remove any internal goal. Instead of thinking about what comes next, focus on how your body feels as you're there. Let your breathing slow, keep your lips soft, allow pauses. Even hovering for a second before contact can build anticipation without creating tension. When you do this, the other person often responds by leaning in rather than pulling away, even subtly. That's the nervous system saying yes. This kind of kissing doesn't feel rushed or performative. It feels intentional and steady. It tells the other person that you're comfortable with closeness and not dependent on escalation to feel confident. That alone is deeply attractive. The neck becomes a place where desire is invited, not demanded. The next time you're in that moment, notice whether you're trying to move things forward or simply staying present. What do you think would happen if you trusted the moment to unfold on its own instead of guiding it? The area just below the ear sits at a unique crossroads between sensory awareness and emotional alertness. Neurologically, this region is closely tied to both auditory processing and light touch sensitivity, which is why even subtle contact here can feel surprisingly intense. Research in sensory neuroscience shows that when touch occurs near the ear, the brain becomes more attentive and expectant rather than immediately aroused. This matters because anticipation is a key ingredient in desire. Unlike overt stimulation, which can overwhelm the nervous system, light contact in this area keeps the brain engaged and curious. Studies on arousal patterns suggest that desire grows more sustainably when the mind remains involved, not just the body. This is why gentle kisses below the ear often feel intimate without being explicit. Psychologically, this spot creates a sense of being drawn in rather than pushed forward. It signals intimacy while preserving space. That balance between closeness and restraint is what keeps the nervous system open and responsive. From an attachment perspective, this type of touch communicates interest without pressure, which helps avoid the subtle anxiety that can shut attraction down. When men understand the role anticipation plays, they stop trying to create intensity and instead allow desire to build naturally through restraint and timing. The result is an experience that feels intriguing and emotionally alive rather than rushed or predictable. In real-life situations, this spot works best when it feels unplanned and unforced. Many men approach intimacy in a straight line, moving directly from one obvious step to the next. But desire rarely works that way. In my experience, the moments that feel most charged are the ones that include pauses and space. A soft kiss just below the ear, followed by a moment of stillness, often creates more response than continuous movement ever could. The key is to let the contact be brief and intentional, then pull back slightly instead of escalating. This creates contrast, which keeps the nervous system engaged. You're not withdrawing, you're giving the moment room to breathe. This also communicates confidence, because you're not trying to hold on to the moment or control the outcome. You're allowing curiosity to do the work for you. When you stay relaxed and present, the other person feels free to move closer on their own terms. That choice is what deepens attraction. The next time you're in a quiet, close moment, notice how it feels to touch lightly and then pause. How does the energy change when you allow anticipation to lead instead of action? The corner of the mouth is one of the most emotionally expressive areas of the face, which is why kissing it creates a very different response than a direct kiss on the lips. This area is closely tied to facial muscles involved in smiling, mirroring, and emotional recognition. Research on nonverbal communication shows that light touch around the mouth increases emotional attunement and perceived closeness, because the brain associates this region with warmth and expression rather than overt sexuality. From a psychological perspective, this type of kiss signals tenderness and intentionality. It activates emotional bonding pathways more than arousal-driven ones, which is why it often feels surprisingly intimate. Attachment research suggests that gestures conveying gentleness and care strengthen feelings of being seen and chosen, not just desired. When the corner of the mouth is kissed slowly and briefly, it communicates patience and respect for the moment. There is no urgency, no pressure, and no demand. This allows the nervous system to stay open and relaxed, which paradoxically increases desire over time. The brain interprets this as emotional safety paired with interest, a combination that deepens trust. This is also why such a small gesture can linger in someone's memory long after the moment has passed. It's not about stimulation, it's about emotional resonance. Understanding this helps men shift from performance-based intimacy to connection-based presence. In real-world moments, this kiss often feels counterintuitive because it's so subtle. Many men worry that if they don't go directly for the lips, the moment will lose momentum. But in my experience, the opposite is usually true. A brief kiss at the corner of the mouth, paired with calm eye contact, often creates a sense of being deeply acknowledged. It tells the other person that you're not rushing them or using the moment to get somewhere else. You're simply enjoying closeness. This kind of presence feels grounding and confident. It also allows the other person to respond freely rather than feeling guided or pushed. When you stay relaxed after the kiss instead of immediately escalating, it reinforces the feeling of choice and safety. That's what makes it powerful. The attraction that follows comes from trust, not pressure. This is the kind of intimacy that builds over time and strengthens connection beyond the moment itself. The next time you're close to someone, notice how it feels to offer affection without expectation. What do you think changes when intimacy is shared rather than pursued? When these 3 kissing spots, the side of the neck, just below the ear, and the corner of the mouth, are used together, they create a powerful loop of emotional and physical connection. Psychologically, this sequence engages different parts of the nervous system in a way that supports both safety and arousal simultaneously. The neck communicates protection and calm, the area below the ear sparks curiosity and anticipation, and the corner of the mouth deepens emotional intimacy. Research in attachment theory and affective neuroscience suggests that moments of intimacy feel most satisfying when the nervous system perceives presence and responsiveness, not pressure or urgency. Desire grows naturally when someone feels seen, safe, and engaged. The combination of these 3 areas allows the brain to process touch in layers. First safety, then curiosity, then emotional resonance. This is why men who understand the importance of these zones experience more authentic attraction than those relying on intensity or technique alone. The brain and body respond to attunement rather than performance, and moments like these create a foundation for long-lasting connection. When you integrate these spots, you're not creating arousal artificially, you're allowing it to emerge organically through alignment with the other person's nervous system and emotional state. In practice, this means slowing down and using intention rather than speed. Many men make the mistake of seeing intimacy as a checklist: lips, neck, hands, escalation. The real power is in noticing how the other person responds at each moment. Start with a slow kiss on the neck, pause, allow their body to settle, then shift briefly below the ear, noticing the subtle cues of anticipation. Finish with a gentle touch at the corner of the mouth, maintaining eye contact and letting the moment breathe. In my experience, the men who master this approach aren't more skilled, they're more present. They create a rhythm of touch, pause, and observation that naturally draws someone in. It's about connection over performance. This method communicates confidence and emotional intelligence without words. It allows attraction to grow quietly, steadily, and authentically. The next time you find yourself in a close moment, try linking these 3 areas with awareness instead of urgency. How does it feel to let the moment unfold naturally rather than controlling it? What happens when you focus on connection instead of results? This is where intimacy becomes effortless, memorable, and deeply engaging. Let's take a moment to bring it all together. Kissing isn't just foreplay. It's a way to communicate safety, curiosity, and emotional connection. The side of the neck signals calm and presence, helping both of you feel grounded. The area below the ear sparks anticipation, keeping the moment alive without pressure. And the corner of the mouth builds emotional intimacy, showing care and tenderness. When these spots are used thoughtfully, desire grows naturally because the nervous system is relaxed and engaged. Remember, it's not about technique, intensity, or rushing toward the next step. It's about presence, awareness, and responding to the subtle cues of the other person. You don't need to perform, you need to attune. When you approach intimacy this way, moments feel deeper, more connected, and more memorable. You're not just kissing, you're creating a safe, engaging, and irresistible connection. If this video helped you understand intimacy in a new way, make sure to hit like and subscribe so you never miss these psychology-backed insights. Comment below with which kissing spot surprised you the most, or share a moment where a subtle touch made all the difference in your connection. I'd love to hear how this changes the way you approach closeness. And if you found this helpful, stay tuned for the next video where we'll break down why slowing down actually increases desire, and how to do it without killing the moment. Every small adjustment in awareness can transform your relationships, making them deeper, calmer, and far more satisfying. Take these insights, practice them, and notice how connection flows naturally when you lead with presence instead of performance. Your moments of intimacy can be smarter, calmer, and more unforgettable than ever before.